Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone. Welcome back, folks. Today it's all about watching the woke women try to flex and failing spectacularly. Grab some popcorn because the show starts now. First up, we've got a pair of self-appointed Australia Day experts lecturing a chill guy like he's supposed to bow to their buzzwords.
Yeah, no.
Supporting this day is the day that they came to the land and genocide.
Okay, it's also Australia Day, so.
No, it's not though.
It is. It is.
The murder of people is like cool.
I think Australia Day is pretty cool.
Murder?
I don't think murder. I think Australia Day is cool. Really? Are they being murdered now?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
In Australia?
But you're still supporting the murder. That's the thing.
I really don't think. No, I don't think so.
I think you're a bit dense.
You think I'm dense?
Yeah.
You're looking pretty dense yourself, I'm sorry to say. But,
Don't shame my friend.
Yeah. Fatty, get the.
They try the usual guilt routine, toss an insult, and the moment he flips it back, their whole system crashes. One starts screaming, the other swings, and their big moral stance ends in a full sidewalk tantrum. Here's a good one. Piers Morgan calmly lets Angelica run her self-ID argument, confidently asserting that anyone can just declare whatever they are.
If you would like to be a woman, you can identify as a woman. I don't know why there is such an issue.
Anyone can, right?
I don't see a problem with it.
Just literally put the hand up and say I'm a woman. Okay, why can't I identify as a black lesbian?
Well, firstly, I mean, it was.
Well, I'm serious. I'm serious. If I can identify as anything without any need to prove I'm actually what that is, why can't I, on International Women's Day, say I'm Piers Morgan, I'm a black lesbian?
I think taking it to a kind of absurd status,
I think
we're
that's
talking about quite a
with
strong
respect, I think that
change.
you'd already opened the absurdity door by saying it is limitless. You can do what you like. Anyone can say I'm a woman. Let me ask you this, Angelica. How many genders are there?
2.
There are 2 genders.
Oh.
Wow. So you don't believe in transgenders at all?
I think there are.
Whoa, hang on. Whoa. There are 2 genders.
Well, it's taught in.
Well, you say well. You've literally just launched this huge defense of transgenderism. Now you've eradicated.
Then he drops the hypothetical about identifying as a black lesbian, and her logic completely unravels. She's left stammering, flustered, and defeated, while the absurdity of woke reasoning shines for everyone to see. In this next clip, we've got a classic woke interruption backfire.
No one lies in order to, like...
You don't know that. You can't falsify that.
Who cares?
Like, what?
No one's talking to you. Shut up.
But,
Excuse me?
Why,
Excuse me. You're excused.
The woman in the jacket struts up, trying to derail a street interview with her high-pitched who cares attitude. Instead of tiptoeing around her, the interviewer shuts her down instantly. I wasn't talking to you, shut up. Her jaw drops, eyes wide, utterly stunned, while the mockery lands perfectly. Here's someone so obsessed with pronouns, they can't even finish a sentence without tripping over themselves.
My pronouns are they, them.
when I say they, I mean a group of people. I'm not going to call you they. Are you multiple people?
What are your pronouns?
If you have to ask me that, you need to get eye surgery.
All that effort, all that moral outrage, and for what? To get roasted instantly. Honestly, watching someone turn their entire personality into a pronoun manual never gets old. Sometimes woke logic collapses faster than their sense of humor. Here comes another classic moment of woke confusion. Watch as someone turns a simple question about policy into a full-on word salad.
This is about our rights being taken away.
What right?
Travel ban?
Travel ban has nothing to do with immigrants.
Yes, it does.
How so?
Because people about the refugees.
You don't even know what you're talking.
All that passion, all those protest signs, and she still can't string a sentence together. Modern outrage at its finest. Honestly, it's impressive how much energy can be wasted being wrong. Now, we've got a woke student trying to defend puberty blockers and failing spectacularly.
Do you think it saves kids' lives to stop their bodies from going through puberty?
I think it does.
How come?
Because there's studies showing that, like, people who transition, who are pre-transitioning. How do I explain this?
It's okay, take your time. No pressure.
There are studies showing that children who are unable to transition, and keep in mind, most of the time they're not being given hormones at 13. They're given puberty blockers to stop them from going through what they feel is the wrong puberty. And their experience it. I don't want to have this conversation.
No. You're on to something. You want him to take it, or?
I mean, I'm gonna be late to class.
Chris Elston calmly asks a straightforward question about saving kids' lives. The student flails, stumbles over words, and ends up running away with the classic "I have class" excuse. This time, we've got woke activists deciding that simply being white is apparently terrible.
Agree or disagree with the following statement. It is okay to be white.
No, that's not okay. It's terrible to be white.
No. Y'all got too much. Yeah, y'all got too much.
Want to be white? That's awful.
No.
Okay, so why is that? Why is it not okay to be white?
Y'all have the race as a people. Y'all have done too much. I would rather people. Yeah, as a whole.
And it's a group of people.
Too much good or too much bad?
Too much bad.
The majority is not.
Is like bottom of the barrel, really.
Woke Brigade is in full swing again, acting like simply existing as a certain race is the ultimate crime. Yes, apparently being white is awful now. Watch them twist themselves into mental gymnastics, trying to justify hating an entire group of people. It's the kind of logic that makes you wonder if critical thinking was ever invited to the conversation. In the next clip, we've got a CNN reporter thinking she can run the show, only to get called out.
Anna, would you like to ask me questions and then let me answer them, or would you like to debate me on these topics? I noticed that when you had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you gave them multiple choice answers to the questions that you asked, and you allowed them to answer the questions. I'm happy to be here to talk about policy, but if you're going to interrupt me every single time that I open my mouth, then why am I even doing this? So please, ask a question, and I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me answer.
Here's media in full performance mode again, representing that interrupting a guest is part of the news. Yes, apparently asking leading questions and ignoring fairness is completely fine. JD Vance calmly exposes the double standard, while the reporter sits frozen, realizing reality doesn't care about her woke script. Now we've got woke activists acting like putting Americans first is somehow controversial.
Why are illegal immigrants more important than Americans? I'd like to hear an answer.
Why are people illegal?
Why are illegal immigrants more important than homeless people sleeping on the streets? Why? One of the biggest economies here in California take care of illegal immigrants, but our people are sleeping on the streets. Nobody can ever answer that question. Why don't people put American citizens first, but illegal immigrants get everything? The Democrat Party does not put our people first. They put sanctuary cities first. They put illegal aliens first. They tax us. They tax our water, while Nancy Pelosi is getting hundreds of thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, President Trump is signing trade deals, and he's cutting our taxes, and he's securing the border. I am proud of President Trump because he's putting the American people first. Period.
Apparently, caring about your own citizens is a scandal, while illegal immigrants magically get top priority. The activist brigade fumbles trying to justify that while this man calmly lays out the obvious, pointing out the hypocrisy and refusing to back down. Coming up, Damon Imani explains the First Amendment to people who only remember it when Trump isn't speaking.
I don't understand how you are the man in charge of the nation and you still don't understand how the First Amendment works.
For me, I want to start by thanking our loyal viewers for demanding truth and courage from us. I don't understand how in this country, where the First Amendment made to the Constitution was to guarantee freedom of the press and freedom of speech, the government itself is using its weight and power to bully and scare people into silence.
Well, you just thanked your audience for demanding truth from you. Yet, throughout this entire segment, you concealed the truth from them by not telling them why Jimmy Kimmel was fired in the first place, which is that he flat out lied about Charlie Kirk's assassin being a Trump supporter. And when you lie and frame half of the country on taxpayer-funded public airwave, obviously you will face consequences from your employer. Just like how this show had to issue hundreds of legal notices for lying to the country. Okay? So Jimmy was not silenced. And as you know, his show is set to return, which shows just how ineffective Trump is at being a dictator and silencing the media. It's almost like he's running a democracy, which looks like you are against because you cheered Twitter actually silencing Trump's voice when they suspended his account while he was a sitting president. So did your fake victim friend Jimmy Kimmel, by the way. And you have continuously labeled free speech you don't like as disinformation and hate speech to argue for silencing people. So you are not innocent. And frankly, I find it insulting of you to sit here and yet again bullshit the country.
This is modern political theater at its finest. Lecture someone on free speech while applauding its selective suppression. Facts are optional, consistency is mythical, and hypocrisy gets a standing ovation. Democracy never looks so performative. This time, a talk show liberal applauds divorce until Damon Imani reminds her she's basically the Olympic champion of it.
For women out there in America, if you are leaving a marriage, first of all, I applaud you for making a decision for you and doing what's right for you.
After listening to all of that, I see why you had 2 failed marriages. But when you say to women out there, I applaud you for making decisions for you and doing what's right for you, it's not all about you. You make decisions that's good for the outcome of your children, which is to grow up with something called a father in the household. I mean, study after study shows that kids with both parents do better with grades, friends, and future, okay? So I think with that advice of yours, you're basically encouraging women to follow your path, sacrifice their kids to play the main character, maybe have a career if they're lucky, yet still end up miserable like Whoopi.
Damon Imani didn't just respond, he roasted the lecture with facts and logic. While she praised divorce as empowerment, he pointed out the contradictions, showing that personal responsibility and nuance matter more than applause and virtue signaling. Next up, a liberal panel that suddenly discovers silence is golden the moment facts enter the chat.
I do want to say, he's not a doctor and he's not a professional.
Yes.
And oftentimes when he's speaking, he is speaking not with the best information that we can get.
And just to be clear, 90% of secretaries of HHS have not been doctors.
But they've had a science background.
There have been 3.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, one of Obama's secretaries of HHS was an economist.
But the majority of them that haven't had medical backgrounds haven't had science backgrounds.
Wait, don't do anything else. Don't say anything else yet.
Because we
have to take a break.
This is what happens when political talking points accidentally collide with real-world facts. Suddenly the room gets tense, someone shushes their own teammate, and a break becomes the emergency escape hatch. When truth isn't convenient, the commercial button becomes the smartest person in the studio. Here's a democracy defender who loves democracy, just not the parts where people actually vote.
We want to save our democracy.
Democrats had superdelegates. They tried to kick third parties off the ballot, and their candidate didn't have one primary vote to her name. How is that a democracy?
Oh my. I think if you're going to talk about those details instead of what's happening with no 3 branches of government, the Congress not...
Supreme Court shuts down Trump all the time.
Democracy is not our joke. No. What's happening to our
democracy? About
superdelegates. You need to be a better listener.
Question. You rerouted it.
And you're supporting the wrong side. You are.
Well, he had primary votes to his name, that's for sure.
It's not about that.
That's democracy, isn't it?
No, it's not.
I don't really even want to you folks anymore.
You can always tell when an argument is running on buzzwords instead of substance. The moment you ask for consistency, someone accuses you of being on the wrong side. It's easier to moralize than to explain why a candidate with 0 votes somehow represents democracy. Feelings first, facts never. Watch a reparations debate crash instantly when someone remembers Obama and Kamala existed.
Why you didn't ask Donald Trump for our reparations, Queen? Why y'all ain't asked Joe Biden and Kamala for reparations? Joe Biden and Kamala was in office for 4 years. They ran on the whole, Donald Trump ain't never promised reparations. But Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, that's what I be saying about the politics, right? I'm for reparations, whoever want to pass them. I don't think we ever gonna get them, right? They feel like our reparations is abortion. That's why Kamala ran a whole campaign and did a HBCU tour on reproductive rights, because they feel like our reparations is abortion. Like, that's why we can't get reparations, because we keep asking them for a right to kill the kids that we can't take care of. So what I'm gonna give you money for, you gonna go abort it anyway. You don't need no money.
Nothing screams political savvy like forgetting context entirely and expecting someone else to fix all historical injustices on command. It's the perfect mix of moral grandstanding and selective memory, where questions are more about scoring points than actually understanding history or holding anyone accountable. Up next is a self-declared microphone warrior thinking she can lecture the crowd and bend reality to her woke narrative.
But we won't be silent. No matter what clothes I am a trans man. Yeah. And all of you are toughs. Aren't you? Yeah. Yeah.
Clutches the mic, shouts slogans, and insists she won't be silenced. Then reality shows up in the form of a security guard, gently reminding her that rules still exist. All that righteous fury ends with her being politely escorted off stage while the chants keep rolling. Now check this out, a hallway showdown where fear meets action. Female security guard books it the second she spots a gun, leaving chaos in her wake. Meanwhile, a man in a white shirt doesn't flinch. He steps up, takes control of the weapon, and neutralizes the threat like it's nothing. Courage over panic every single time. This time, a woman in the Orlando Improv thinks the applause is personal and immediately starts booing like the world owes her respect.
So ladies and gentlemen, the Coliseum! He won the first set! Let's go! Are you guys coming back? Yes! That is our night at the Orlando Improv.
She screams, "Sexist!" flips the stage off, and then drags the staff into her personal grievance about how hard she works. People laugh, leaving her meltdown completely ignored. Here, a woman on a plane thinks reclining is a personal attack and goes full polka dot panic mode, shaking the seat in front like it owes her respect.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did. You've been kicking my chair.
You leaned your chair back.
The chair is leaned back for comfort.
Not that far.
Man, that's as far as it goes. That's the farther I put it.
Well, you know what? I need leg room.
I know you need leg room. I'm giving you that, but the chair goes back. You don't
leg room.
The man in gray finally stands up, mirrors her tantrum, and calmly explains the chairs lean back for a reason. She screams leg room, but logic clearly left the building. By the end, he looks stunned that his script stopped working on someone awake. Here is the good one. We got the woke activists all fired up, ready to lecture. You can practically see the scripts in their hands, rehearsed outrage at the ready.
Now, you're out there trying to help folk. Your methods, your style may be less gentle than some others, but the intention is just as pure. Let's have a look.
You wouldn't tell an anorexic person to continue to not eat, would you? If an anorexic woman, when you're a nurse, would you tell them, a person that had a mental illness, would you tell them to continue not to eat? Or would you tell a bulimic person to continue to throw up?
No.
Okay, so why would you tell a person with gender dysphoria they were born in the wrong body? It's a mental health issue. You don't solve it by cutting off your breast.
Alex, what would you say to someone who'd say that is not helpful, that you are being too judgmental, you are being too harsh in how you're trying to convince that mother in that instance that the road she's set her child on is not the right one?
You know, they would not be wrong. I would say that my methodology is not always the softest or the nicest. And, you know, at the same exact time, I played sports, and you kind of need a football coach to kind of tell you the, you know, the tough truth sometimes, why you're not starting or when you played bad in a game. And so when I'm talking to that mother, I actually am empathetic to the mother, and their child. But at the same time, people were afraid to have these conversations, and that was a hard conversation. And so I really wasn't trying to come off as, arrogant, but at the same exact time, it was just a tough conversation that probably had not had a lot of, I'm guessing, because there's probably not a lot of pushback because of the society that we're currently living in. So at the same exact time, it was a hard conversation, but a necessary one.
Meanwhile, the calm voice on the other side just waits, letting reason do the heavy lifting. Every well-practiced talking point hits a brick wall. Their perfect little scripts crumble when met with a clear, straightforward answer. The confusion is so obvious it almost looks painful. Up next is a classic woke meltdown caught on camera, where facts meet feelings and chaos ensues.
Good try. You have to bifurcate it. Did she deserve the honor? Probably not. Is she brave? Of course she's brave. All those years invested as this sports legend. To come out transgender is horribly difficult. It is the most difficult thing you can do. I've been overseas. I've flown helicopter missions, surveillance missions. I've been shot, stabbed. Being brave is being yourself. And being transgender is about the bravest thing you can do. Did she deserve the award? Yes.
Why are we mainstreaming delusion?
It's not delusion.
Why would you call it delusion?
Because Caitlyn Jenner, I'll call him Caitlyn Jenner.
No,
because
it's
that's
her. You're not being polite to the pronoun.
Because
disrespect.
Okay, forget about the disrespect. Facts don't care about your feelings. It turns out that every chromosome, every cell in Caitlyn Jenner's body is male, with the exception of some of his sperm cells. It turns out that his brain structure is male. It turns out that he still has all of his male appendages. How he feels on the inside is irrelevant to the question of his biological sex.
I don't agree with that. I'm not on that train. I'm not on that train. She wants to be called she. I'm going to call her she. I just have a problem with the message and the messenger.
So let's I'm going to do two things. I want to reiterate what Zoe said, which is the bifurcation of the courage to come forward after a lifetime as a male and a certain kind of a male, versus did she deserve this award? Listen, the awards, what are award ceremonies except an opportunity to catch some eyes?
Especially the ESPN.
So, yeah, it's like ESPN, well done, ABC. They did exactly what their job was, to attract eyes. They did it. That's what award ceremonies are for. But in terms of the science behind gender dysphoria, you're very familiar with that, Zoe.
Very familiar.
It's not about the chromosomes within our nuclei. Yeah, go ahead.
Chromosomes don't necessarily mean you're male or female.
Gender.
With gender
identity. Go ahead. No, so
especially, but even so, you have a thing like Klinefelter's syndrome. So you don't know what you're talking about. You're not educated on genetics.
Would you like to discuss the genetics? Or
well,
what are your genetics?
So I'd stay away from the genetics and back to the brain scans.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
No, I know. Well, but wait, to be fair, you're actually being rude. And that's not fair.
I'm sorry, it's not rude to say that someone who's biologically a male is a male. Someone who's biologically male is a male.
But Mr. Shapiro, you knew very well that saying that to Zoe would be egregiously insulting.
Zoe Terse storms the debate, waving his arms, lecturing about courage and identity, but Ben calmly drops logic bombs about biology and chromosomes. Every exaggerated point she makes bounces right off him. By the end, her face is red, her grip is tense, and the panel is left trying to process the spectacle. Up next, a campus debate where every tough question gets the same answer: dodge, deflect, and deny the dictionary.
We have to account for the reality that black people, 13% of the population in the United States, commit over 50% of the violent crime.
And in that sense, I also need to walk around you with pepper spray and tasers because white men are the ones who rape women more. So
that's actually not true. Actually, it's statistically black men are more likely to rape women.
I have done the research. It is statistically more white men, not black men, men in general, but white men specifically that rape more.
For the video, I'll just put up the statistics on the screen.
And it's still Christians who are dehumanizing us still to this day.
Well, I disagree with that. I don't see evidence for that.
Because you're a white man in a white space. You're not in my spaces away from the safety of white privilege.
What privileges do I have as a white man that you don't have?
I am actively followed to make sure that we're not going to steal because we fit a demographic.
Why is that happening?
Because they see me in society as a black woman and make an assumption about me.
Why do they assume that black people are going to either steal something or commit some act of violence?
Racism.
No, it's because black people commit an inordinate amount of crimes relative to the population. You're blaming a society for racism for just like noticing a pattern, for just saying like, I actually don't want to be mugged or robbed or something like that. And here's a demographic who's doing that more often than other demographics. So I'm naturally going to be a little more cautious. Is that reasonable? Why is that not reasonable?
Because it's something that's unique to this country.
What is?
Racism. I can go.
Racism is unique to America?
Not racism unique specifically, but in the sense that I have gone to Europe and other countries and have not felt that systemic racism and me being perceived as a basic threat as a human being.
Try going to South Africa as a white person.
Yeah, that's true. South Africa's white person is really bad. Racism is everywhere.
Kill the Boer.
So I guess I don't even know what you mean by racism, though. What do you mean by racism?
I don't want to go in this, but I do have a question.
The discussion started with numbers, immediately swerved into unrelated accusations, then ended with, I don't want to answer. It's like watching someone unplug the router mid-argument. The MAGA guy kept trying to keep it grounded, but she dodged every question like truth was optional coursework that semester. This time, Damon Imani shows liberals offended by Trump's meme that they never noticed their side's full costume blasphemy.
Tweeting out an AI-created image and the White House official account of him posing as the Pope is disrespectful, it is frankly disgusting, and it is outrageous. And so all of those devout Catholics, I think you need to ask yourself some questions, and I think you need to ask the White House and Donald Trump some questions, because Trump, Mr. President, it's his holiness, the Pope, not his oiliness, the dope.
And you're a sanctimonious joke. But look, the bigger picture is right here in my pocket, and I will pull it out. This is Rihanna dressed as a Pope. Olympics 2024, marking Jesus Christ's last meal. Over here, camera, over here. Don't run, because Trump only posted a meme. But these are actual photos. And I don't see that same energy of yours, Anna, when it comes to Hollywood actually mocking God. This is Madonna on a cross as Jesus Christ.
We'll be right back.
Some people treat memes like sacred texts. She's offended by a playful AI image of Trump, yet Rihanna as the Pope? Totally fine. Damon Imani just reminded everyone that outrage is often selective and reality optional.
You haven't seen this?
No. That's him.
Holy sh**.
Don't have a uterus, you don't get to make a decision.
Did you just tell me I don't have a uterus?
It will never happen to you. It will never happen to you. Are you telling me? Chris?
Well, you couldn't tell me I don't if I claimed it. My pronouns are uterus owner male.
This woman tried the classic no uterus, no opinion routine, only to find out the guy she's lecturing knows her rulebook better than she does. One line and her confidence collapses harder than her logic, leaving the internet howling. Now, check this out. Here is a real treat of mental gymnastics going horribly wrong.
Number one, I made sure that I was clear.
Wait for it.
That it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, thanks for not clearing it up.
Well, in that case, here it comes. A Jasmine Crockett is a bitch.
A woke woman tried to flex some fancy word twisting like it's going to fool anyone, only to get hit with her own logic so cleanly that the internet practically stood up and clapped. It's that rare moment where excuses meet a brick wall of common sense, and the meltdown writes itself. Here comes a clip that shows exactly what happens when loud activism meets someone who refuses to play along.
Here, let's watch this because it's so funny.
You don't like ice? I bet you like ice in your soda. Watch out for that fresh. Watch out for that fresh air. What are you looking at? Oh!
A protest full of slogans, masks, and borrowed outrage gets rattled the moment one guy rolls by and pokes a hole in the whole performance with a couple of lines that land harder than their cardboard signs. The looks, the silence, the stunned faces, all of it proves how fragile the act really is once someone pushes back. This time, we've got a classic street corner standoff where a full-time protest expert tries selling her moral lecture, only to run straight into someone who isn't buying a single word.
Great-grandparents helped build downtown Manhattan. They came here on a boat.
They came illegally?
Yeah, they did.
They should have been deported.
You're saying that everybody that came into this country illegally is like a criminal.
Because it's illegal to enter illegally.
Honey, you don't know the law.
You think it's legal to enter illegally?
You don't know the law, so I'm done with you.
The moment he gives her one simple question, the whole speech collapses, and she ends up arguing with her own logic before tapping out altogether. It's the usual routine. Big confidence, bigger signs, and zero follow-through once someone pushes back. Finally, we got two self-appointed guardians of racial truth ready to hand out verdicts before hearing a single fact.
Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Pull that video up.
So in Chicago, a black woman was brutally stabbed by a white man. People are saying this is racially motivated. What do you guys think?
That was not mental health.
You think it was racism?
Yeah.
So what do you guys think was racially motivated about the black guy who stabbed the white woman on the train in Charlotte?
Wait, can black people?
You're saying black people can't be racially motivated?
Get this damn mic out my damn face.
The moment the interviewer flips the script and holds up their own logic to them, everything falls apart fast. Confidence turns into confusion, then straight into a meltdown the second they realize the rules they preach don't work both ways. Up next is Andrew Wilson schooling the woke panel like it's basic math.
Women have a duty to keep the family intact as well. They're responsible for most of the divorces. They file for the most amount of divorces, not because of abuse, but because of irreconcilable differences. And when asked, I don't feel fulfilled. And it's like, that's not how we run a society. It's literally a death sentence for our whole society. Look at what's going on in the UK. It's a death sentence for them.
Okay, let me bring in Stasia, who's been grimacing throughout that. Stasia, why are you so outraged by what he's saying?
I'm not outraged. I just think that you all are fairly stupid. And everything that's being said is ridiculous. And it's just like a comedy show.
You
being
think you
played
can
out
change your... How can you ever call anybody stupid? How can you ever call anybody stupid?
Yeah,
you
she
think
should
you
sit
can
that
change
one
your
out.
sex?
Hey, I'm just sitting back watching the shit show happen. I'm here for it.
All right,
How is that
Julie,
possible?
you were not... Well, hang on. I want to get Julie to respond to Andrew.
Oh, I zoned out and I thought I'd woken up in the 1950s in some TARDIS. You can't take him seriously. It's ridiculous.
Oh, you mean in the 1950s? You mean in the 1950s when we had intact families where 95% of women were getting married as virgins, where families weren't being broken up, where crime was extremely low, where you only needed one income to support an entire household, where mental illness was at an all-time low? Like that 1950s? I'm sorry that I make a reference to a time.
Are you married? Are you married?
Yeah, I'm married. How do you make married with many children?
Is your
How
wife
about you?
happy?
You married with children? Oh, she's ecstatic.
No, I'm 23.
She's
I'm
gonna
a boss
bring me-
lady girl, which seems to
Yeah.
be driving you crazy.
Yeah.
Working, making money,
I'm just pointing
waiting
out
for the right guy to
the
come
only
along.
thing you have no arguments. You just try to assault me personally. You can try, but the truth is that I've reproduced. I am
How
married.
did I assault
do
you?
have
I
the
asked you
life.
if you're married.
No, you didn't. You were making a passive-aggressive
I mean, to be
feminist
fair,
comment about how my wife
Both ladies tried to flex their outrage, but Andrew just keeps hitting them with facts about marriage, families, and real life. The blonde guest throws in her boss lady energy, and Andrew casually shuts it down, reminding everyone that some arguments don't age well.
Yeah, you better than me, bro. Anyone that looks at this, right, though, and sees this as normal behavior, sees this as a rational person that needs defended and that needs protected, that's a marginalized group, you've lost your mind. The only interpretation of this man is demonic possession, MK Ultra mind control. Like, that's the only logical conclusion you can make about this demon. Some advice I can give you when a demon is manifesting right in your presence is you need to start saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, and not just sitting there and take it. You better, bro, let some fat pig like that get all up in my face. Let that happen, bro. I'm getting physical. Especially if all I'm doing is spreading the good word, and you're good. I know his breath was crazy. Nah, bro. I don't think I'm not called to do this yet. I don't have the patience or the restraint to do something like this and not go to jail. So I'm gonna keep on making my videos until I grow to a place spiritually where I can have these confrontations IRL and it doesn't go sideways. Cause if somebody touches me, bro, if somebody gets so close to my face, I can feel their saliva hitting me. Absolutely not. I'm too civil, bro. I'm too civil so that when that disrespect enters my For You page, like IRL, I don't know how to react, bro. I don't know what I would do.
And then the reaction, and he says exactly what everyone is thinking. The activist calls it being real, but the rest of the world calls it losing the plot. Now, get ready to witness a complete over-the-top meltdown as a woke activist loses it in front of a city council microphone.
I am offended that our children are not receiving affordable gender reassignment surgery along with hormone blockers. and access to abortions. This alone is a threat to our democracy, as Justin Trudeau only says. It just shows that you people do not care about our children, and that these are the same people who refuse to obey the science and get fully vaccinated. It's science, people! Science! Science!
Oh my God, Kevin, I don't know how you got out of your cell, but come with me, buddy. Come with me. We're gonna go to your cell. I got you some milk, and we're gonna take your pills and go to sleep, okay? Come with me. Who unlocked his cell? Gonna need security.
He storms a council mic like they're delivering the state of delusion. He's shaking, shrieking about science, and collapsing into performative chaos while the skit cuts to an asylum worker treating him like he's overdue for nap time. It's peak woke theater pretending to be serious politics. In this next clip, we've got a wild confrontation inside the MMA ring showing raw action. Now check this out. A confident female captain steps onto the mat thinking her black belt will school the private like it's a feminist showcase. He counters instantly, slams her to the mat, and by the time he locks the choke, her equal fight speech evaporates. She taps and all that woke bravado hits the floor harder than her landing. Up next is a self-appointed social justice expert dismissing a simple magic trick like it's a threat to civilization. She
Missing magic? Well, pick a number between 1 and 100. I'm not asking you.
37.
37? Just open that up, please.
Let's have a rebate coming to us.
How do you know I'm a man? Did you get that? Did you get her misgendering me? Boom, it's over. Oh, 37!
Calls him rude, acts all morally superior, and then surprise, the trick works perfectly. Her assumptions and buzzwords collapse instantly while he calmly points out the irony. Suddenly her big woke energy evaporates faster than her credibility ever existed. Now check this out, a self-proclaimed tough fighter thinking she can dominate because she's woke and bold. He throws non-stop punches, kicks, and drama, assuming he won't hit back. Then one precise kick changes everything, sending her flat on the mat. All that moral bravado and aggression, gone in a second, while he stays calm and unbothered. Next, Nancy Mace asks the DC mayor to explain her own woke phrase, and the mayor taps out in the first sentence.
So Mayor Bowser, what is a woman?
I'm a woman. Are you a woman?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I'm a woman. You're looking at one.
Okay, good. In section 3-703 of the DC Code, you use the phrase, the intersection of gender and race to create unique dynamics and effects. Can you explain what this means to the committee?
Where is that, ma'am?
Section 3-703 of the DC Code. Do you know what that means? No, you don't know what that means. So Chapter 14D of the DC Code establishes
Mr.
the
Chairman,
commission.
I'm happy to answer questions.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to reclaim my time. This is not her time, it's my time. You can be quiet as I ask you questions, and then you can answer them. And then you can answer them. I'm not, Mr. Chairman, this is my time, not hers. I'd like to reclaim my time.
Let's make good use of the time, Ms. Mays.
I'm making very good use of my time. And you're making my point. You're the mayor of D.C. and you don't even know your own code of laws. What is a birthing person?
I would assume it's someone who gives birth.
Nothing exposes overcomplicated jargon like asking someone to explain it. The mayor's impressive sounding phrase crumbles instantly, proving that throwing around buzzwords doesn't equal mastery or even basic knowledge of your own laws. Here's a gender debate unfolding, ending with the military guy diagnosing what the activist calls education.
You are actually kicking out these 3 highly qualified service members solely because of their identity. These are trans women.
So to be clear, these are men who think they're women.
These are women. I'm happy to educate you on
But these are men.
on trans
and so
issues at another
what we've
time.
identified is that there's mental health issues with that belief system.
I'd like to turn
that
to general
are detrimental
now.
to readiness, and that's the determination that we've made and that we stand behind. Gender dysphoria.
And so you don't
complication.
you don't trust your commanding officers to be able to evaluate the people under them?
The liberal insists on redefining terms while ignoring operational reality. The military doesn't run on feelings. It needs people who can perform reliably under pressure. Ideology doesn't override readiness, no matter how loud the argument gets. Next is a reporter questioning democracy, but the protesters' facial piercings are working overtime, blocking comprehension.
Didn't democracy actually really work? It's just y'all spent a lot of time smearing half the country, calling them Nazis, and that half of the country just said, get the f*** off the island.
Huh? I don't understand the question.
Oh, okay. Voted off the island like Survivor. You may have too many facial piercings to understand this.
A simple question about democracy turns into a comedy of selective comprehension. When laughter replaces an answer, it's clear some protests run on emotion rather than understanding. Critical thinking might need a dress code, apparently. Up next is a wild one as Cenk Uygur auditions for the title of Chief Woke Analyst over a woman shooting beer cans.
Go, bro.
Yeah, take that inanimate object. Okay, you couldn't get the big one on the right side. Don't think we didn't see it, we saw it, okay? I'll tell you what, man, you go woke, I'm gonna buy a lot of your stuff, and then I'm gonna shoot it, okay? And I'll buy more of your stuff, and I'll do a giant ad for it, and then I'll shoot it again. And by the way, when I shoot it, that shows you. Those things are now shot. I win. Do you?
He tries turning her protest into some grand crisis, piling on sarcasm like it proves anything. But the harder he pushes his outrage routine, the more obvious it becomes that the only meltdown happening is his own, while she unintentionally exposes how fragile the woke crowd gets when someone simply ignores their script. This time, we've got someone taking the phrase overconfident to a whole new level, thinking showing up loud and proud makes him untouchable.
Wasting our time.
I'm wasting your time?
Yes.
Who is that British piece of Everybody!
Hi. And why are you here in?
To try out for American Idol.
No, well, you're not a superstar, but you are a singer.
I am a
dancer.
superstar. You can ask my friend, you can ask one of my therapists.
What are you going to say?
Gloria. Gloria! You're always on the run now. I think you're headed for a breakdown. To show it, you really don't remember. Gloria, Gloria.
Oh, God, dude, I don't even know what to say.
Thank you.
Didn't mean it that way, but...
I'll tell you what this was, Ian. This was a very hammy, bad audition for you as something you aspire to be, which obviously isn't a singer. You're not good at anything, and this is just rubbish.
Rubbish. That's British for garbage? Like, what is that?
Ian struts in, jazz hands and all, believing he's a superstar while the judges look on like they just saw a disaster in motion. Watch him argue, perform, and misread every hint of critique as applause. It's the kind of performance that proves ego alone doesn't equal talent. Here we have another woke activist melting down like someone unplugged their emotional Wi-Fi.
Why can't I exist as my true self right now?
That's not your true self, that's what?
This! You don't think this is my true... What the is your true self? You ignorant piece of is your true self being a little who's shorter and feels insecure about how they are? What? Oh, you don't like coming into people's faces and getting them uncomfortable for being their true selves? You don't like when people do that to you? Then Lord, and do that somewhere else and stop coming here, you
Alright, man. I love you.
I'm not a man and you don't love me. If you loved me, you would put this down, you would go walk, and you would thank everyone for being here authentically, as opposed to telling them that they need to convert and no longer exist. Stop ruining pride for everyone.
The preacher stays steady, and the activist responds with the kind of performance usually reserved for expired reality TV stars. In this hearing, Nancy Mace asks why Twitter censored a doctor, and the answer basically confirms Elon bought the FBI's side project.
Where did you go to medical school?
I did not go to medical school.
I'm sorry?
I did not go to medical school.
That's what I thought. Why do you think you or anyone else at Twitter had the medical expertise to censor a doctor's expert opinion?
Our policies regarding COVID were designed to protect individuals. We were seeing...
You guys censored Harvard-educated doctors, Stanford-educated doctors, doctors that are educated in the best places in the world, and you silenced those voices. Did the U.S. government ever contact you or anyone at Twitter to pressure Twitter to moderate or censor certain tweets? Yes or no?
We received legal demands to remove content from the platform from the U.S. government and governments all around the world.
Thank God for Matt Taibbi. Thank God for Elon Musk for allowing to show us in the world that Twitter was basically a subsidiary of the FBI.
This is peak follow the chain of command comedy. Someone censors a doctor, and suddenly the explanation reads like a government thriller. Thankfully, Elon Musk stepped in and pulled back the curtain, revealing the truth behind Twitter's FBI connections. Proof that sometimes it takes a billionaire to expose bureaucracy. Next is a MAGA woman who gives a protester a free history lesson on fascism and accidentally cures his buzzwords.
Fascism for me.
It is a government that cares more about the power that they have than individual rights.
Fascism historically has been going after people who politically disagree with you. And we've seen, for example, Charlie Kirk last month was shot and killed. And so what happens when we use inflammatory flames like fascist, it paints people a certain way.
I hear you, Noel, but here's the thing. If they don't want to be called a fascist...
That's like me saying if you want lax border policies, then you're an anarchist. It's a false equivalency.
But the right calls the left communists and enemy within all the time.
You do this, then that justifies
I'm just saying, look,
it. That's not
look,
okay.
if they don't want to be called fascists, they shouldn't act like fascists.
In a fascist country, all of the media is controlled by the government. Even though there's polarizing rhetoric, we still have ways for people to express their opinion. We still have ways for people to appeal to civil systems. And so I think that's super important, because when we're calling people fascist blatantly, that's what fuels political violence. Calling people Nazis, we're calling people fascists. And that would be wrong if I went around calling every Democrat a communist.
Here's a lesson in nuance most political arguments skip entirely. Labels matter, definitions matter, and throwing around fascist like confetti only inflames. A MAGA woman just got a masterclass in why history and accuracy might save more than a few hashtags. Next up is a woke hero trying to silence a calm preacher like he's the guardian of the sidewalk.
Oh, go to Africa. Where are you from, man? Where are you from? Where are you from, though? No, I want to know where you're from. You say go to Africa.
I'm not a slave.
Okay, I know you're not a slave. But where are you from? I just want to know where you're from, though. Are you even from this country? Where are you from?
You will try to give the brainwash. You want to try to give the brainwash.
But why do you think I'm from Africa?
He barks the usual nonsense, throws a racist jab, then falls apart the moment the preacher asks one simple question. The hypocrisy hits him so hard, he starts rambling about slavery and brainwashing before retreating in confusion. The calm guy wins without even raising his voice. Here we have a woke activist trying to bluff her way through an argument she clearly did not think through.
Kill the kids in foster care and...
Why not? Why not, if that's the case?
We should kill the kids in foster care that aren't wanted.
Who's going to take care of them? I need to know the percentage of people who take children from foster care and abuse them and molest them, who make them like personal slaves.
We should just kill them.
Statistics before you come to me talking about pro-life.
We should kill the victims of molestation.
I think... What does this have to do with molestation?
You just mentioned people molesting children. We should kill the kids in foster care is what you said.
What I'm saying is in general, overall. If I don't want to have a baby, I should have the choice to.
Just don't have
not. Even as teens, people explore. And it's like, as funny as you want to be, people should still have the choice. I think that you just don't understand the magnitude of having a child.
I'm not the one who admitted they would be okay with killing babies in foster care and killing children that have been abused.
That's not the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
She starts with wild takes about foster kids, spirals into stats she does not have, and the second the interviewer hits her with simple common sense, she snaps, the logic collapses, the temper flares, and she ends it with a full swing instead of a point. Coming up, we've got a heated debate where a woke activist tries to push his agenda and immediately runs into an unshakable host who refuses to back down.
As a female, be forced to get changed in front of a male.
But nobody's making you do that.
Yes, you do. There's cases going through the courts at the moment. I can think of one such case in the NHS where some nurses are taking action because they were forced to share a gender-neutral changing room where there was what you call a trans woman, i.e. a biological male, using those facilities. So yeah, it actually does happen.
Trans men are men, trans women are women. Do you think that trans people exist? I
think that what you call a transgender woman absolutely exists. I don't think it's a figment of your imagination, but I think that they're categorically, biologically male. So therefore, they cannot and should not be able to access female-only spaces. Lots of women like me do not want to have to get dressed and all the rest of it in front of biological men.
This trans activist guest trying to push the usual slogans, only to get flattened by a host who actually brings facts. He fires off the same tired lines, hoping confidence will cover the nonsense, but she keeps shutting him down with simple reality. Up next, we've got a moment where a veteran just wants to enjoy Veterans Day and suddenly faces a chaotic woke mob yelling nonsense at him.
We're all blessed, just like you, sir.
Are you enjoying this country?
No, because
Let them have they say, it's okay. Give me a gun, I'll shoot you, son. No, it's okay. It ain't okay. I fought for the freedom you guys enjoy. I come over here to enjoy Veterans Day, and look at what I got. I fought for the freedom that they're enjoying. I'm not afraid of any one of them. If I had a gun here now, I'd wipe them all out.
They scream, flail, and pretend they know more about service than the man who actually lived it. Watching them melt down while he stands his ground is all you need to see. Next up, we've got a woke protester confidently claiming she knows what fascism is and quickly running into a vocabulary blackout.
Why are you out here protesting?
Because I'm against fascism.
What is fascism?
Fascism is words hard. Why are words so hard right now? That is about, I'm out of breath now.
She starts with certainty, then suddenly all words vanish, leaving her grasping for air and excuses like a live-action buffering icon, watching her scramble while pretending mental exhaustion hits peak comedy levels. Here's a good one, showing what happens when woke takes facts completely out for a walk.
Trump is also looking for an all-white male America.
When did he say that?
Don't have a quote for you there.
Because it never happened.
I am not that in touch with the news.
So you made it up?
No.
So when did he say that?
I don't have a quote for you.
So where'd you hear it from?
I get a lot of my information from the Times.
That's the problem.
A young protester confidently makes wild claims about Trump and racial politics, then quickly realizes reality isn't on her side. When pressed, the I read it somewhere excuse comes out, and suddenly her fiery outrage melts into panic. Coming up is a perfect example of what happens when woke slogans meet their final boss. Next is a liberal who claims no Democrat wants free healthcare for illegal immigrants. Until video evidence waves hello.
Legal immigrants should not be getting access to the Affordable Care Act marketplace.
100%, Senator, but what I'm saying is that members of your party are making this an issue.
Well, I can't speak for members of my party, and I don't think you're right. I think you're making it an issue. Vice President Vance is making it an issue, but I haven't heard anybody in my party saying that illegal immigrants should get access to the health insurance marketplace.
I'm so glad you said that. Actually, I have some tape. Let's play the clip.
This is a show of hands question, and raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
It's amazing how memory conveniently skips over inconvenient facts. Raise hands on camera, never happened. Deny video evidence, perfectly normal. The MAGA supporter just proved that sometimes facts have a funny way of catching up. Finally, a love wins protester who admits ICE is scary, but forgets identity theft is too.
Well, the left is all about love.
Really?
That's in my heart.
When I go to protests every week, I talk to leftists, hundreds of them every month.
And it all kind of seems the same rhetoric and the same policy positions where they want to dismantle police departments.
No,
they
I think
hold on, I'm not done.
Okay.
They want to abolish ICE. They have tons of signs about abolishing ICE, which
ICE is
keeps
a little scary.
Well, they keep our country safe.
No, people are here legally, but they're not like residents. But they're here, they work, they pay taxes, and that whole.
So how are they here legally, but they're not?
Let me just say,
they're not citizens.
Whole thing of them coming here and using all of our services for free is not true.
Okay, can I offer some statistics that might change your mind on that?
I just was reading statistics. They pay taxes, billions of dollars.
How much? How many billions of dollars?
I can't specifically answer that.
It's about 37. It's about 37 billion. Do you know how much
they pay in taxes?
Yes. Do you know, number one, how do they pay that in taxes?
Well, through their withholding. They have to pay federal and state taxes just like everybody.
Typically, well, no, because they're not allowed to work here. They're not allowed to have a social security number.
But they pay taxes.
Yeah,
Do you agree with that?
Through other people's social security numbers.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's a huge scam that goes on in this country, and that's how they pay into the system. Do you know how many billions of dollars the illegal immigrant community in this country costs the taxpayers?
Illegal immigrant immunity.
Yeah.
All right, that's a mouthful.
Okay, do you know how many billions of dollars the illegal people...
I don't keep up with the billions of this country.
It's between 150 billion to 400
Let me ask
billion.
you this. What do you think of President Trump?
Yeah. I think he's doing a great job. But anyway...
Now I gotta go.
Talking about love is easy when facts are optional. Once taxes, social security misuse, and costs appear, the romanticized narrative fizzles. Ideology often loses the moment numbers show up, and logic takes the exit ramp. And that's a wrap on today's compilation of reality checks and epic debate fails. If you enjoyed watching facts slam fiction, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because next time, the truth's coming for your feed again.